Hey there, good morning. So in today's video I want to do something a little different. I want to sort of step back and talk to my 20-year-old self, right? I'm now 46. What would I tell myself if I could either go back in time or leave a letter or, whatever that is. But before I get started, I'd love to hear from you. What would you say to your 20-year-old self? What are the one or two things? Do me a favor, leave a comment below on some of the things that you would tell yourself. I'd love to hear it. See what you all have to say. So as for myself, I think there's sort of three things that I'll be going through. There's one big elephant in the room that we'll just tackle right away. If you know anything about my story, we'll just knock that out. Then we'll sort of get into the do's and don'ts, right? Don't do this, don't do that, do this instead, that kind of stuff. So for me, my story begins with what for most people is probably not recommended, but was a good thing for me. I was married at 19. And I think, again, admittedly, that's not for everyone and probably not for most people. Being married at 19 forced me to grow up. I experienced college in a very different way than, what you read about or you probably experienced. I was the kid that went to class at 7:30. I was out by 11:30 and I was at work by 12:30, worked from 12:30 to 9. Most days. So, you might call that hustle, grind, whatever it is. But, being married at 19 was a good thing for me. It forced me to grow up. It forced me to do lots of things. And I never stopped. I believed that education was important. So where I could have easily stopped and not gotten a degree or not gotten an MBA, it was important. And I knew that was going to unlock something for me. So, again, I don't recommend it for most people, but it was a good thing for me. So now back to the the do's and don'ts. As I've said in other videos, I did my 20s all wrong. Now that I look back on it, every time my income went up, I did something stupid. For example, I think I was 22, and I probably made, I don't know, 30 grand. And I went out and bought a $40,000 vehicle, right? I bought a pearl white 3000 GT, brand new. I don't remember what my payments were, but I'm sure they were $800 a month. And that was just stupid. Loved the car, kept it for, 7 years or something. So loved the car, loved everything about it, but that was just dumb. In addition, anytime I got a large commission check, because I've always been in sales, it went to something, right? I bought a $10,000 watch because I had a $8,000 commission check or something like that. Just silly things. And, that was really silly for a 20-year-old. I should have been socking away those cash reserves and learning. Other things I shouldn't have done. I shouldn't have been enamored with the stock market. More specifically, I shouldn't have been enamored with penny stocks. I don't know why, but again, we're just having an honest discussion here. I would look at the penny stocks and I would tell myself, hey, if this 11-cent stock only doubled, my money would double. And, I would get wrapped around the math and basically know nothing about the company other than the name. I would probably look at the price history and then, I would read one annual report. That's not stock market investing. That's chasing fool's gold. So that's something I certainly wouldn't do. Frankly, I would tell myself not to even focus on the stock market. Right? I know that I didn't have the time and the commitment and the resources because I was going to school, because I was working at least one job to really focus on stocks. So I would tell myself not to do it. A lot of my biggest losses were because I was in a rush or didn't take care in the stock market. So again, think about what I'm saying, right? I'm telling my 20-year-old self not to buy stupid toys. I'm telling myself not to chase stock market, wealth, not to chase the whole glory of penny stocks and those kind of things. So what would I tell myself instead? I think there's, something that I let slide. First off, and I should have been better at it, and I got better later in life, but probably a decade or two too late. And that's networking. getting around other like-minded individuals, right? I always acted like, at least in my 20s, that if I got in a cave and I just focused, right? I just did all this reading and research and all this nonsense, that I would find the magic, I don't know, the puzzle would be solved. And what I've now learned is networking, getting around other like-minded individuals, having discussions, seeing the other side of stories is far more valuable. So I would tell my lazy ass to stop hiding out, and I would go network. I'd go to masterminds. I'd go to other, real estate events. I'd get around other experienced individuals a lot sooner, right? I did that in my mid to late 30s. I would do that a lot sooner. The other thing is I would tell myself to understand the difference between assets that produce cash flow and value versus assets that are just sitting there and based on luck, right? I would tell myself to go figure out real estate investing. I would read everything I can. I didn't start reading real estate books until I was in my 30s. I should have started in my 20s. I would tell myself to get a goal of buying a rental property before I'm 25. I think there's every chance, if I didn't buy those stupid toys, that I could have owned one and perhaps two by the time I was 25. I look back at what prices were when I was in my 20s, and it's just stupid that I didn't go that direction. So, and again, I think each of you should ask yourself, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? And again, leave a couple comments below. Tell me what you would tell yourself. Again, in summary, I'd tell myself that getting married at 19 was good for me. Probably not great for most people, but was good for me. Don't focus on penny stocks. Don't buy stupid toys just because you have the cash. Stop that middle-class mindset. Go out there and network, meet more like-minded individuals, and of course, understand the difference between assets that produce cash flow and versus just, sit there as pieces of paper. So in the end, hope this made sense. Love to hear what you have to say. Have a great day.